Hey guys, so I know no one asked for my 2 cents or 10 cents or however the saying goes on this, but my LCD has been nagging me to make a video on this and I have really strong opinions on this. So without further ado, let's get right the fuck into it. Hit the Shady Axe intro.
So the furthest back I think that the drama goes, because it's pretty recent, pretty sure they started getting dragged by this TikTok account. This one TikTok account was making rumors about Jake and Tara, and they were saying stuff that was based from some reality, but they were just adding lies to it. So basically they made horrible rumors about, first of all, Jake being a pedophile. They made a rumor that Tara Yummy acts like a baby for her quote boyfriend, even though they're not dating anymore, or her ex-boyfriend. Actually, they did say he was the ex-boyfriend. They said that she infantilized herself because he's a pedophile, and we're gonna get back around to this. But basically, this TikToker was saying all this stuff, and the one thing they said that actually was true, they said that was based on reality, was the tweet they showed that Tara made when she was well, this
Said it's not rape if you like it.
Which I obviously not good to say, obviously, but I think if she was 12 years old, that she was a more of a victim of her surroundings, because how are you gonna hold someone accountable for something they tweeted when they were 12 years old? Obviously still not good to say, but there was that, and also the fact that she was seen with Aisha Erotica, who said multiple slurs. So I feel like that's not even that serious. If you're gonna drag anyone, drag Aisha Erotica, the actual person who said the slurs. But also, she lip synced to the N-word, and I'm not sure how true that was because I couldn't find the actual video of her doing that. Talking about Tara, by the way, not Aisha. So yeah, there's that too. But this all leads into this YouTuber called Motley Angel, who made a video essay on Tara Yummy entitled Tara Yucky, and that's where the real shit starts. So how I'm gonna do this is I've watched the video when it came out. I saw it on my For You page, and I had a lot to critique about it, and we're not just gonna be looking at that, but we're also gonna be looking at the one she made on Jake and Johnnie. So how we're gonna do this is going to go through each of the people individually, Jake, Johnnie, and Tara, and technically Carrington, even though there's only one thing on him that I want to address. So I'm gonna be saying all of the things that I don't agree with first, and then I'm gonna say what I do agree with that she said, and I think are fair critiques. So the whole first video she did on quote-unquote Tara Yucky was basically just saying that she's a pick-me girl, and that the points she brought up were how she went on, or she goes on, she's now a host on the Dropouts podcast. Zach is known to make really edgy jokes, and that are, she's basically saying that Tara's on there, and sometimes they make jokes about her being a slut, a run-on thing, that oh, where'd you wake up this morning, Tara Yummy? And when she first came on the podcast, Zach made a joke about her, how they should throw her in the jail to hold pedophiles over their, pedophile wingness. I don't look about over their pedophilic tendencies. I'm smart. Over their pedophilic tendencies, because she's still the height of a child. And so basically her points there are about her on the Dropouts podcast, how she just lets them say all these things and doesn't really confront them about it. Yeah, I feel that's a valid critique. A lot of people are not okay with this kind of jokes, and I must say they are, and I don't think you can make those jokes. They're pretty inappropriate. People could get offended by them. But yeah, So So another thing was technically also about her on the podcast, but it's not, like, it was for her directly, on how she was Alyssa, one of the only other, the only other, like, female, like, host on the podcast, or I don't know if she's, like, a host. She was talking about, like, her depression, and then Tara interrupts, and she is interrupting to invite them to her upcoming birthday party. And I watched that clip, and I was like, ooh, yeah, it's good. I didn't watch that actually, or listen to it technically, but I mean, watch it on YouTube. But yeah, I don't think I saw that one, but that is pretty incriminating. I think she just wasn't reading the room, and it was a bit like airheaded of her to do that in such a moment. And yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I'm into like edgy humor, but sometimes Zach jokes just cross the line, so I feel like they miss sometimes, so I can't like fully relate to like just her being on the podcast and me having a problem with that personally, because personally I don't have a problem with her just being on the podcast. Some of the stuff Zach says, like, I do have a problem, but I don't know about her being like a pick-me because they like technically make jokes about her being a slut. I feel like if she's going along with it, it's not like they call her a slut 24/7. Actually, no, that's not even true, because Zach low-key, it was more in the beginning of the podcast. He would always make dumb jokes like that. But like, it was never just you're a slut. It was like they have this game of like, where did you wake up this morning? I don't think that's necessarily about her being a slut. Like, I think it's about her being like a party girl, because that's her persona that she puts on. And so I was like, oh yeah, that's just like a part of her party girl persona. Like, that's a good joke to go along with it. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. It also says that they think Yummy is a pick-me girl just because if she makes a bit of a deal out of like how many guys she hangs out with, and this one, like, I don't know if it was like a podcast she was on, she said that she just has a lot more guy friends than girlfriends. She just gets along with them better, and honestly, I don't see the problem with stating that you vibe with who you vibe with. You know, I don't think that necessarily automatically makes you a pick-me girl because you have more guy friends. Like, to each their own. Another point she brought up was that when Tara went on Trisha Paytas' podcast, she didn't seem into it, and she was like barely answering the questions, I suppose. And she was the Motley Angel person said, well, the least she could do is put on a smile and answer some questions, which she seems to have no problem doing for her guy friends, and I quotes. But I watched that podcast when it came out, and I did not notice her acting weird in any certain way, but I will rewatch it again to see. But I just didn't notice any of that the first time, so it might be a stretch, I don't know. But back to her making a point of how many guy friends she had. She had made like maybe two TikToks of like when everyone was commenting, oh, the mega collab when they were all together with the Sterniolo triplets, Sam and Colby and Lorray. And like, I really don't think her making a video with all of them, like in a little TikTok being like, oh, look at them, or whatever the fuck the TikTok was about, makes her a pick-me. So that's my opinion on that. Because, like, it just happens to be, like, who they were all, like, collabing with together. That was just, you know, what they were doing at the time. Like, they were doing videos in, like, close quarters. So, like, why wouldn't she make a silly little TikTok about it? And it's not even like she only has guy friends, because she's made several videos before with her girlfriends that she only has guy friends. But that does bring us to the next topic. Motley Angel says that Tara treats her women friends differently, and the first, or one of the examples that she uses was her at Coachella, and how this one girl was kind of third wheeling when she was talking to Tana Mojo. But I really don't think so, because that clip was like 12 seconds long, and sure, maybe she was looking mostly at Tanimojo and they were like talking mostly. That was 12 seconds long, and she did talk to the other girl at like one point, and 1 point may not seem like a lot, but you have to remember the clip was freaking 12 seconds long. Like, come on. Like, look at this.
Oh, and also I would just like to point out that she was talking to 2 girls, so this doesn't even support the pick me allegations. So, because it's not like she was ignoring the girl to talk to a guy, so it's not really on theme. But yeah, here's the clip.
Oh my God! It's giving YouTube mother. Wait, you know what? Let's bring YouTube back. No, literally, let's bring Wait, I will vlog next. Mine's gonna come out in a year, but whatever. No, 6 to 8 months. 6 to 8 months. No, I'm like, that's so real. We need to do like a car video with you. We need to do a car video. Oh my God! No.
So as you can see, that clip was
very short, not much to go off of. I suppose you could say she was third wheeling, but they were at Coachella. They were just like meeting up for, I don't know, a few minutes or however long it was, and I'm sure it was very loud over there. And also there's just more videos
together, and from the looks of it, like, they hang out more, so
obviously it's not that much to go off of. So you can say that she was like third wheeling and Tara was a bitch for that if you want, but I really think that's just not the case. Another point she brings up about Tara being a pick-me is just her overall demeanor and basically how she quote-unquote infantilizes herself, which I think that's just her personality. Like, honestly, she says she's appealing to the male gaze, but like, I really think it's more of just her like being herself, because if you purposely steer away from certain clothes or a certain way to act because of the male gaze, it's kind of doing the opposite. That's like counterintuitive, if you ask me, because then you're just like letting them have power over you and having to change yourself. Like, you can't control how men see you, so if they see you in a creepy way just because of how you act, like, come on. And I mean, it's not like she goes around saying goo goo gaga, I want pedophiles to love me. She just kind of wears mini skirts and talks about how short she is from time to time. Like, come on, you can't just put that on someone. Which kind of wraps around to the Jake Weber like TikTok that some person made that I said we'd get back to, that said, oh, she acts like a baby for her ex-boyfriend or whatever. Like, you can't just say stuff like that based off of someone's aura. Like, come on. More on the topic of her height, Motley Angel brought up the fact that she
talks about her height a lot.
Is a common thing in the pick-me-girl stereotype, how they talk about how small they are to get male attention. But I really have never found her bringing up the fact that she's like 4'11" that obnoxious. I don't think she says it that much to where the point it's like annoying. She says it from time to time, but it's never in a way that's like, oh, I'm small bean, like, let's compare hand sizes. Like, she's never done that, and I don't think she's ever put another girl down, being like, oh, you're so big and I'm so small, which is like why I don't think she's that pick-me. Moving Tara Yucky Part 2. The first thing she brings up in
this video
is her relationship with Jake Weber and how it's weird how close they are after they've broken up. And I do think that it's good that they're still friends and they're still able to maintain that friendship, since it didn't end on any bad terms. But I do think that it might be it might make it difficult for them. Like, I don't know how they're gonna get back into the dating world, but that's not any of my business, so I don't think we should really be criticizing that. Plus, they have, from what I've gathered, like, been back out there. So there are people who don't really care about how close they are. And some things that specifically incriminate their relationship are the photo that's on screen right now. I mean, this is only like 4 months after they broke up. And when I saw this in my recommendations, I'm gonna be honest, I was like, come on guys, because just look at this thumbnail. They look in love, but that's not, like I said, really any of our business. And like, I don't know, but I'm just giving my opinion on this, and I have to say I half agree with it, but it's their life, so I don't really think that this makes them a bad person or bad people at all. So, also would like to point out how she said that Tara always refers to him as her ex in titles, but Jake has never done that. And I just noticed on screen right now that this video is Target shopping with my ex, and it's on Jake's channel. So, also, I really don't think it's that serious. Even Motley Angel said it's not that serious, but I feel like if Jake had a problem with it, he would just speak up about it, and I don't think he has said anything about it. He might have to Tara, I don't know that. But honestly, like, everyone on YouTube does that. It's just a what's it called? Like a good word to catch your eye and tired.
A buzzword.
If you will. And so I really don't think it's something that he took personally, and it's just, you know, the YouTube algorithm. Another critique about their relationship was Tara trying to convince Jake to get a tattoo of the letter T for her name. Here's the clip.
You know, I don't regret.
T.
No, dude. How the fuck am I ever gonna go, friend? If I have a T tattoo, dude. I'm already friends with you. It's hard enough. You want me to get a T tattoo?
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
But you would do it.
That's if we were dating still.
So as you can see here, it was a little bit awkward, but Jake did address this and go on record saying that it's been like kind of a joke. Like, he's not mad at Tara, or there's nothing awkward going on. It's just like they've been joking about it in the past, and here it doesn't really look like a joke, but I guess it's just a thing she said before, and he's gone on record to say, like, don't come for Tara for this, so I really just don't think it's that serious. So here's the clip of him saying that.
So there's this clip of Tara telling me to get a T tattoo, and I just want to clarify, off camera, me and Tara joke about that all the time. Also, I told her one time, in a jokingly manner, I said that I would get your name tattooed, and I don't think I'd ever regret it, because
So the last little controversy involving Tara and Jake before we move on to the Johnnie and Jake video is this picture. Now, I'm not religious or anything, but I do.
Think that costumes like this are disrespectful, and I don't know, especially because Jesus was like a real person, and just depicting this in this way when there are people who actually heavily believe in this religion, like, I'm okay with commentary on it, but this just feels like not. I mean, I'm not religious, like I said, but I just feel like this leaves a bad taste in your mouth. And like I said, I'm all for like commentary on it. Like I did a whole song about like my problems with religion. You can find it on my channel. Shameless self-promo. But yeah, so that's all I have to say on it.
The song is called Save Me, by the way. The first controversy we're going to get into, just revolving around Jake, is the Belle Delphine one.
A really old video in 2018 or something. They asked a celebrity crush, and he said it was Belle Delphine. But he has addressed this and said since then he's like learned what she did. And I'm gonna be quite honest, I don't even know what she did. I mean, like, I've heard that she like infantilizes herself, which is like another reason why they think he's a pedo, because he dated Tara, who also allegedly infantilizes herself. So yeah, that's that. But he said that he's unfollowed her since then, since he learned about the controversy. So I'll insert the clip of him addressing it right here.
That clip is 6 years ago, and it was right when she got famous. Like, literally everyone. That clip is 6 years ago, and it was right when she got famous. Like, literally everyone I knew, like, talked about her. And I didn't know any controversy at that point. But yeah, that was like 6 years ago. I had no idea what happened in between. And yeah, she like followed me recently, and I followed her back because I usually follow people that are also a creator as well. And I mean, when I found out about the controversy, I unfollowed her.
So yeah, as you can see, he just didn't know about the controversy, and when he found out, he unfollowed her.
One thing that I forgot to mention that dumb TikTok account made up, that's just completely not true, is that he was talking to underage girls, and that's just completely misinformation made up. So if you're wondering about that part is just not true. There's no proof of that whatsoever. Anyways, getting back into Molly Angel, her video entitled Johnnie Cringebert and Jake Wobbler. Dude, when I saw this come up in my recommendation, I wanted to die. Like, I was like, okay, she came from Tara, but I didn't know she was gonna come from all of them. And that title, bruh.
Also, she didn't even spell Johnny's name right. I'm tired of seeing people spell it like that. It's not that hard. It's I-E, not Y.
Oh, before I forget, she also brought up, I don't know in which Tara yucky part it was, that Tara supposedly lied about growing up poor because if you look it up, both of her parents have good jobs. But I just think that that's not necessarily proof, because her parents could have started out poor and like worked their way up, and now they have like good stable jobs. But if she did lie, that's a pretty shitty thing to do. We just don't know for sure. Okay, so she does start this video off talking about Johnnie, but since we're already kind of on the topic of Tara and Jake, we're going to shift more into just Jake, like how we were previously. So we're going to talk about Jake stuff first. Okay, so right off the bat, this is going to kind of be about Jake and Carrington, but basically, okay, there is something else she says. She basically just comes for their humor and like says it's not funny, but that's not a valid critique at all, so I'm not going over that, and that's pretty much all it is. So other than that, like and just critiquing Johnnie at the beginning, the first thing she says, like for Jake, is kind of just how she thinks, and a lot of the fans think, is that since Carrington came, Jake and Carrington have been like bullying Johnnie, and I didn't think so. When I watched their videos, I thought they were all just like hanging out together, and they were like teasing him, but in a fun way, because I never thought like it looked like Johnnie was hurt by that, and I still stand by that. Actually, I really don't think that they're like bullying him, and there's a lot of clips of Carrington being just such a nice guy. I really think Carrington is a nice guy, and I saw a comment that said like Jake hyper fixates on people, and he just dumped Johnnie out and went to the next person. But do y'all remember when they lived with Steph? Like, y'all are acting like it's always just been Jake and Johnnie, but like not even that long ago they had a third person. So it's like, this kind of just goes to show you that Jake doesn't just hyper fixate on people, because when Steph was around, it's not like there was any, drama there. Mentioned about Jake was, one, that he's a poser, he's not a real punk, that he orders off of all things for, he wastes food in videos. He basically is consumerism, is capitalism. He always does shopping hauls, like always does shopping sprees for content, lives in a big ass mansion, and he has an anarchy tattoo, but he clearly doesn't believe in that. And yeah, I agree with that. He shouldn't identify as punk if he doesn't live punk. He listens to the music, he dresses punk, so he could say that he likes punk style and listens to the music, but he technically can't claim himself as punk. So either he just like comes out and says like, hey, I'm not punk, you know, I just like look and listen to the music, like everything would be alright and I'd be fine with that. But for right now, yeah, he's a poser.
Subcultural appropriator, if you will.
The last thing Molly Angel covers in her Johnnie Cringer and Jake Wobble video is the fact that Jake used to do this thing called murderabilia, and when I first saw those murderabilia videos, I thought to myself that this is weird, and then I checked the comments and no one was talking about it, so I just thought I was the only one who was like, that's kind of, I don't think you should be supporting someone who did those such heinous acts, and I know most of them are dead and they don't get the money from it anyways. But still, if you're the type of person to say separate the art from the artist, this is a whole new level. Because you're not separating the art from the artist, you're buying those pieces of art because of who the artist is, and the artist is a terrible person. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess as long as they're not getting money from it, it's fine, but it does not sit right with me. So I do agree with that one too, that it's a little weird. Moving on to the Johnnie Gilbert hate. So the very first is how Johnnie Gilbert basically, all he does is complain, and that he still acts like an angsty teenager who either doesn't talk in most of the videos he's in or just sits there. She says, quote, she's just kind of there, and that all he does is complain, and she also says he can't take criticism well, and okay. I only agree with one part of this. The rest of it, I'm going to tell you why I heavily disagree. But the one part about him not taking criticism well, and a little bit about him being pessimistic. I mean, I'm pessimistic too, so I can relate. I don't think his complaining is that obnoxious. But people just let people be people. Don't. I feel like she's just over criticizing his every move with this one. It's not even like he did anything bad, but I have noticed that he doesn't take criticism well. Other than that, him supposedly not just being there, that's totally not true. She obviously hasn't watched the videos well enough to tell, because he's really funny. He can bounce well. He bounces very well off of Jake and Tara, and he's just a very, very good to go with them. You can tell he's really funny. And sometimes he's slightly quieter than the rest of them, and that's literally fine. So that's all I have to say about that critique. But yeah. Okay, so the next thing she covers in the video is drama having to do with them on Omegle. But oh my god, I'm just looking at this, and it says 1 year ago. That absolutely blows my mind. Time goes by so fast, and I actually can't believe how long I've been in this fandom, but that's besides the point. So anyways, the drama is that they went on Omegle, and supposedly she said inappropriate talk towards minors. Okay, first of all, no one on there looked like a minor. No one on there was confirmed to be a minor, so I don't know where she got the minor conclusion from, because literally no one on there has confirmed their age, and you're supposed to be 18 plus to be on Omegle anyways. What they said was never inappropriate. It's not like they said twerk for us or whatever the fuck Austin Jones said back in the day or something. That's not what they did. Someone said, are you guys gay? And then they said, yeah, I want to join you. First of all, barely even inappropriate. The other person negotiated it. I don't know where she's drawing this minor conclusion from. They could possibly be a minor, but if they are, they're not even supposed to be on Omegle. And I'm not talking from a place that I've never been on Omegle. As a minor, yes, when I was in 6th grade, I used to go on Omegle all the time. But the point is, you shouldn't, and they're not responsible for if minors go on Omegle. And they didn't even look like a minor. It's not like they saw a child on Omegle and said something crass to them. They didn't, so I don't even know where this conclusion is from. But following the theme of his quote inappropriate behavior towards minors is just the simple fact that there's a lot of kids, not even kids, but like teens in his fandom. So he should basically, she's like, oh, you should be more aware of what jokes he makes and make less thirst traps. Okay, first of all, he doesn't even make thirst traps. They're not thirst traps. Sometimes he lip syncs to videos and looks hot, but that's not even the point. The point is, he doesn't fucking control his fandom. You know who does? Their parents, okay? And if their parents have a problem with it, they either should not let them watch that, supervise what they're watching, or, just freaking, it's fine. If their parents are fine with it, then fine. He's literally not their fucking mommy, okay? Damn. So
this next criticism is
how he allegedly dated
Bella Porch, and she has
a tattoo of the Japanese rising sun, which is apparently a fascist symbol which represents imperial aggression and war crimes. But she did say this.
That says, I will have the tattoo removed or do a cover-up. I did not know the history behind this tattoo, and I will educate others about it.
Also, they already allegedly broke up. It was only for like 2 weeks. So, yeah, that's it about this one. Also, I don't know if the heart was originally there, if that's what she covered up the sun with. I don't really know. Like, if the heart is a part of the fascist symbol, I don't know much about this. If someone can educate me on this in the comments, I would love to do that. Then she makes the point that he wears this shirt. And what she uses to support that first makes me so fucking mad. He's wearing such a graphic shirt when he has such a young audience. He doesn't fucking control his audience. He's a grown-ass adult. Why should he have to water down his content just because most of his audience happens to be teenagers, okay? Like, what the fuck? What do you want him to do about that? She also says that Snow White is 14, so this Snow White shirt, But most people don't even know that she's 14. That's not that common knowledge. And I'm sure that if he did know, he would stop wearing it. Also, she's a fucking cartoon character, so who gives a shit? One thing I did neglect to mention, however, was at the beginning of the video, she talked about how Johnnie made, like, these jokes about how that implied that his uncle basically molested him. And he makes uncle jokes a lot, but not necessarily about, like, molesting, but it's just like a run-on thing that he has a thing with his uncle. And I feel like that's like a common joke. That's not just a joke he makes, but for some reason a lot of people make jokes about the uncle being weird. And yeah, maybe that's bad, but I don't know, I find it kind of funny, and like I said earlier, I'm kind of into edgy humor, but maybe like be more aware, because there could be people who get offended like that by that. And yeah.
Pixie, stay fly, you guys are my blood, never forget to XD. Bye, thanks for watching.